Hi guys, it's Tamra, the Judeo-Christian medium, and tonight I have a very special guest with me. Let's welcome Miss Janis Joplin. Yay! Hi Janis. I'm saying hi just for your benefit. Janis has been with me, guys, since the summer. I seem to have a very special connection with Janis, so I'll tell you guys all about that. But she's here, she's amazing, she's smiling, she's really excited, she's beautiful, she's like lightly tanned. She is like at her peak of health. Her hair is flowing. She's like, shut up. She's like faking smoking. She's really funny, guys. I have so much to tell you guys. I've been meaning to film this video since the summer. But Janis, being so humble, she keeps telling me like, wait, film this person, do that first. So she keeps taking a back seat, and that's part of her character. And we'll get into that. She's laughing. And please forgive me, I'm talking to her. My whole spiritual team is here. Her and I have such a strong connection because she is part of my spiritual team, and I'll get into that. And this has been really hard for me because she has given me so much information that I could probably, it would just be endless what the amount of information I could give you guys. So I just want to make sure that I don't know, they're telling me just to keep going because I could not break the information down into like parts. It's like a book, and like I said, she's been with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just to ground me and to give you some information. I'm just going to start with her biography, and this will be the biography of her life, her last lifetime. She's given me the information, her Akashic records of some of her notable lifetimes. So we'll get into that. But in this last lifetime, she was Miss Janis Joplin, born January 19th, 1943. She was a Capricorn, which totally makes sense. You know, it's a masculine sign, and you know, she struggled a bit with finding that balance between her masculine and feminine side, as she was she's saying she was mostly male in her lifetimes. Mostly like me, she was mostly Jewish. And she was either male or she had strong like masculine tendencies, or just masculine energy. Okay, what's that? Yeah, she struggled in her relationships with men, because like trying to find that balance of masculine and feminine. But we'll get into her lifetimes and we'll explain. Yeah, okay. So moving on. So she was born January 19th, 1943, and she passed October 4th, 1970. So she passed at 27 years old. As many of you know who are into this stuff, who are on the spiritual path, she passed at 27. She's part of the 27 club. So she's saying that that is from her heavy Arcturian influence, that many Arcturians who are like musicians, actors, they pass at 27. It's an exit point. Unfortunately for her though, and please forgive me, I'm closing my eyes because just talking to her. So yeah, she's saying, sorry, I'm getting so worked up. She's saying that it wasn't her time to go. Even though she's part of the 27 club, it was not her time to go. It was not planned. It was not fated. And Spirit and Janis would like me to let you all know that that expression, everything happens for a reason. And that many people think that your death and lots of things are fated. But as many of you know, and Janis would like to remind you, that we have free will, and not everything is fated. Her death was not fated. It was the free will of a person in her life. We'll get into that a little bit later. Let me get back to the biography. And she wants she wants me to remind you all that so Spirit has told me that I have ADHD and Asperger's. I'm on the spectrum, and so did she. And this will help you all to understand why her life was the way that it was. So keep that in mind. So a little bit more information. Janis, like myself, is Pleaidian. Her soul, our soul, doesn't change in that aspect. And she's Arcturian. So I'll remind you guys, I'm Pleaidian, Arcturian, and tall white, with a very heavy influence of Pleaidian. She is Pleaidian and Arcturian, and she said it's pretty equal. So we're mixed. And just to give you all a recap, my spiritual team has told me that when humanity was created, it was created with an influence from Pleiadians, Arcturians, tall whites, and reptilians. And there are all kinds of factions and representations of that, but those are the four major planetary influences. So I know many people talk about like Admiral, what is it? Akbar. Yeah. And, you know, so people have said, well, what about this person? What about that person? And I think it's Admiral Akbar. So he's a representative with a connection to the tall white. So that's who he is. So please know that I'm not challenging other people's beliefs as I go through this with you guys. And Janis is helping me and my spiritual team. I'm just going to give you the information that they give me, and hopefully we can all make more sense of this, and you know, listen to all kinds of psychics and study religion, and you know, find your own way, see what makes sense for you. But as we go down the road, like Janis has given me so much information alone that it's going to take a while, but I'm going to start breaking down everything for you into like hopefully manageable chunks. But let's go on with Janis. She's Pleaidian, Arcturian. She Myers-Briggs, she's her soul is an ENFJ, and you know, that makes sense. I'm an INFJ. So yeah, anyway, she's like, she's like, I'm an extrovert. Okay, so she would like you to listen to her music. I didn't write down all of her songs because, you know, we talked, and I don't want to make this just like a Wikipedia page. So if you're a fan of Janis, and if you're younger, guys, please look up Janis Joplin, listen to her music. The song that she wrote herself is Mercedes-Benz, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. You can go on YouTube and watch her documentary for free. She's saying she's been on a total starseed journey. She is and always has been a twin flame, as I am too. And she's been a religious figure. I'm not trying to be coy. I will get into exactly who she was. I just have all these notes here. One of her big messages, she's just going to be, she has so many messages, guys, but one of her big messages is to honor your talent, which she wasn't fully able to do. Okay. All right. I have all these notes here. This was like the best I could do in getting them put together. So that's kind of her biography of this last lifetime, where she was Janis Joplin. So I'm gonna go a little bit to the past and her galactic timeline, and then we'll get into her passing, which was different than what was written. And this is like a really big deal, guys. So, and one of the major reasons that, you know, she's been wanting to talk, she's like, it's okay, calm down. It's a lot, and I just, she's one of these entities that I just have so much respect for, and her and I are so connected that it's like I've been wanting to do such a good job that it's actually been so hard for me to make this video, because I feel like I just can't do her justice. So she's like, it's okay. All right. Okay, so let's start with before any of this happened. So guys, as my spiritual team and Janis has let me know that some spirits were archangels before they were human, as Janis was, and then some archangels were human before they became archangels. So that being said, the spirit of Janis Joplin, before she came to Earth, she was and is Archangel Azrael. And also to let you know, when someone is an archangel and they are galactic, they can, not always, but sometimes split off and actually have like 2 lifetimes going at the same time here. And it's very complicated. I mean, to me, it's not, but it's complicated, like, to get the information out. For me, they just kind of like gave it all to me, and then like intuitively I understood it, but to get it to you guys, it's tough. And she's talking to me now, and I just realized I went into a little southern drawl there because she's here, and she was from Texas. Yeah, that's so interesting. She was from Port Arthur, Texas. Yeah. She's like, woo, Port Arthur. Yeah. So anyway, okay, so she was Archangel Azrael, and these are just some of her lifetimes, guys. She's been around a long time. She also was Andrew the Apostle. And while she was Andrew the Apostle, her twin flame was Bartholomew the Apostle. Okay, so they were friends even though they were twin flames. So that's something, guys. Sometimes twin flames can just be friends when they have a lifetime together, especially if they are the same sex, but they could also be a same-sex couple. It's just that they were friends in that lifetime. She was also Amelia Earhart, okay? So I have channeled Amelia Earhart, and so please watch that video if you'd like to see about her lifetime when she was Amelia Earhart. And she was also Joan of Arc, okay? So just crazy, very powerful spirit. You can hear it in her music, guys. And I'd like you to look at, it's in the eyes. Look at her pictures of when she was Amelia Earhart. You can look up pictures of Archangel Azrael, look up pictures of Andrew the Apostle, and look up pictures of Joan of Arc. So Janis was also a woman named Felice Bauer. You know, Janis being a disciple, she has a very heavy Jewish influence, Israeli influence. So she's laughing because she's like, she's from Port Arthur, Texas. You know, that she was in a Christian family, but if you really look at her, guys, look at her. She has like the curly hair, and she's like the Jewfro. It's just so fascinating. So, I want you to look at Felice. Look at the pictures of Felice Bauer, and look at the pictures of Janis Joplin. Very similar. This is like what I meant, guys, when I said there is just so much information. So as if that's not an, okay, so when she's saying when she was Janis Joplin, her twin flame, who is still alive now, he's in like his 70s, his name is David Niehaus. That was her twin flame. Now, she was meant to marry David Niehaus and have children with him. He's a sportscaster. And yeah, she was meant to marry him and have children with him, settle down with him. But I guess we'll just talk about it now. Now's a good time. So she was taken out, guys, and before her time. Like I said, it was not fated. She was meant to have she's saying she's meant to have a longer life, and she was meant to go on and write music, produce music. She's very, very passionate about what she did. If you watch her documentary, Little Girl Blue, and if you, she wants you to watch the documentary with her boyfriends, you'll see that she was very, very passionate, very talented. Now, she wants me to loop back around, and sorry, my subscribers know that I have ADHD. Many of the people I've channeled have that, so we make these connections that might just seem disparate, but then they come together. Like I said, it's just so much information. My head is spinning. Okay, so let's go back here. Back to Felice Bauer. Who's Felice Bauer? So Felice Bauer was Franz Kafka's girlfriend. So Franz Kafka is a famous Czech writer. He was Jewish. They were soulmates. I'm going to do a channeling of Franz Kafka at a future time. Franz Kafka's twin flame was a woman called Dora Diamant. So we'll get into that. They were all Jewish, which makes sense. Okay, guys, so as if this is not crazy enough, right? Janis Joplin is speaking to me as her soul on the other side, as pretty much like she's talking to me as Archangel Azrael. But she has reincarnated. She is here now on earth. So she can do this as an archangel. She is actually here on earth. She is living a lifetime now. And her twin flame is here on earth. So he has 2 lifetimes at the same time. And also being Archangel Azrael. So like I said, guys, being an archangel, they can do that. So not everybody can do that. Not everybody is a twin flame. Now, I know many of you watching are on the twin flame journey, and I would like to confirm to you that if you are, or you feel you are, Pleaidian, Arcturian, and reptilian, Pleaidian, Arcturian, and or tall white, many of you are on the twin flame journey, that is part of it. And we'll get into that at another time. So Janis is saying many of you who watch this channel and who are into all of this are on a twin flame journey, and that's confirmation. And I'm going in and out of all kinds of accents. She's laughing at me. My goodness, guys. So, okay. So Janis in this lifetime is a paralegal. And she is married to a lawyer. So I can't really... They're alive right now, and I can't really give you too much detail on them because they're alive. And I don't want to go too much into other people's business. And anyway, so like I said, when she was Janis, she had ADHD and Asperger's. And one of the reasons why I want to tell you guys that is, in addition to that, she was a scapegoat in her family. And she actually quoted this for me, and she wants me to read this to you. So she gave me this quote from Jesus where he says, Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world. Have mercy on us. So many of you who are Christian and go to church, think about that. The priest, the pastor says that a lot. Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world. Have mercy on us. And I think they do that when they hand you the bread and the wine, you know, take this bread, take this wine. You know, it's symbolic of the Last Supper, yes. But anyway, her and Jesus, they're all here. They want you to think about that expression. Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world. Have mercy on us. Well, that expression was lamb. So lamb of God. That was representing Jesus. What did they mean of that? Well, Lamb of God is like a scapegoat. I know that you know, the scapegoat is a goat, but that's what they meant by Lamb of God. You know, Jesus is saying now, yes, he was the Son of God, but we are all children of God. But he was a scapegoat in that lifetime. So Janis was a scapegoat of her family. And so it says, Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world. So when you are a scapegoat in any group, generally it is a narcissistic group. And she doesn't want to insult her family, but in a narcissistic group, you have a scapegoat. So back to back to Israel. You know, we're gonna flip back to Israel when Jesus was Jesus in Israel. He was a scapegoat, and the reason that he came was to be a messenger of God, and think messenger of God. So Janis Joplin, when she was here, she was a messenger of God through her songs. Jesus helped her write those songs too. So did the Arcturians. So in all of her lifetimes, she was a scapegoat, even when she was Amelia Earhart, Joan of Arc, Andrew the Apostle. And it is like a dumping of sins, of people dump their emotional baggage onto a scapegoat. And the reason why, you know, she was a disciple, and in her lifetime she was a scapegoat, is like she could, you know, she could handle it. Now her and Jesus are telling me that these lifetimes where, you know, he was Jesus and she was Andrew the Apostle, they actually did kind of bite off more than they could chew. And that's been a big issue for galactic starseeds. And this is something that myself, Spirit on the other side would like to rectify. So they are, through me and other mediums and other ways, are trying to get starseeds to, you know, at this time moving forward, to not be the scapegoats. It's not working. And I had told you guys the 4 different sects: the Arcturians, Pleaidians, Reptilians, and Tall Whites. So as of now, us starseeds really need to get stronger, because I've said this in my last video, reptilians are at 50% of the population and growing, and us starseeds right now really need to be in our power. And we, as a society, as humans on this planet, there is a chance that we could burn ourselves out if the reptilian influence gets too strong and is in power for too long. So I'm doing these videos. They're here. They're talking through mediums to empower other starseeds, because at times we have taken the scapegoat role, and now it's not helping many starseeds die young from being the scapegoat, from being taken out. And now it is, and I'm sure you all are feeling this, and have gotten these messages from other other sources that that's not working. Now is our time to be empowered, and to be ourselves, to let our light shine, to use our talents. Janis only got to use like a fraction of her talent because she was the scapegoat in her family. She had that energy. She was the scapegoat in her high school. And then the bands that she was in, she was scapegoated in those bands. She was so talented. They were talented too, but she never found her tribe, which was a huge problem for her. And she wasn't able to fully access her talent. I mean, she was amazing. You can listen to her songs, but some of it got lost. And as far as the substance use goes, she did substances for a while. When she did a certain substance, H, she connected to Jesus. She connected to all of her spiritual team. And because she wasn't finding that connection here on earth, which she would have found if she truly found her tribe. Like she found David Niehaus and she had that connection briefly with him and they were going to get back together. But that's what got her hooked. Now that substance that starts with the letter H, I've talked about that before. That connects you to spirit, good spirit, but also bad spirit. So when she connected, she also, especially her being a starseed, she connected to like a dark reptilian spirit, and that scared her. But some people started doing that at a party. So now I'm just talking to her. Some people started doing that at a party she was at. And she did it again accidentally, connected to her spiritual team, and then kind of got hooked again. Now, guys, she is saying that she would have quit that, especially she was starting to, she would have found her tribe. She would have found, you know, the perfect band for her. She would have married David. She would have had children. She would have gone on to produce, and she would have quit doing H. So it's a shame. It is a tragedy that we lost her. She was a medium. That's how she downloaded the music. And it's really interesting because they're telling me Jesus was a medium, and Jesus was just, you know, receiving information from his guides. And he was actually just creating a guide for peace and a guide for feeling better. He's laughing. He's saying it's like a personal trainer. He was just, you know, Jesus is an archangel, of course. But what was written in his name is not exactly the message he was trying to get across. It was, some of it was, but by no means was he writing commandments that you must obey or, you know, be kicked out of the kingdom of heaven. So we'll get into that at another time. Sorry, so back to Archangel Azrael, who Janis Joplin is Like I said, now she is in the legal profession. So pray to her if you would like to increase your talent and figure out your what you are best at. And she's also saying Archangel Uriel is really good for that. But pray to Archangel Azrael if you're having issues with details. She's laughing. She's saying the devil's in the details. Yes, protecting your talent, the law, if you have any lawsuits coming up, any issues with taxes or forms, which she's laughing because even though she's in the legal profession now, she really struggles with clerical work, as do I, as do many starseeds. So I don't know if you're seeing a common theme. Many starseeds have ADHD. Many are on the spectrum. Many struggle with clerical work, like paperwork, and all kinds of issues. But that's why it's really, really important. Her and Jesus are saying right now, it is so important. If you're a starseed, guys, we are here for a short period of time to really honor your talent, really let your freak flag fly, really pray to your spirit guides, and really do not pretend to be reptilian. I did it. Jesus did it. Janis Joplin did it in all of her lifetimes. They're saying starseeds pretend to be reptilian and reptilians pretend to be starseeds, and we'd actually be much better off if we were just ourselves. And I think unless they want me to channel someone else, the next video I'm going to make is about reptilians. Just sort of clear the air about them, why they're here, what their deal is, and that's going to help us with our deal. And maybe even some of you watching are reptilians. And if you are, you know, we're going to work through that, and we're going to work through how to be a positive reptilian and how to make that work for you. So they're laughing at me because, like, guys, I pretended to be reptilian. I didn't know it, but I was so shamed for who I am that they're laughing because it's in the eyes. It's so interesting. Like, you know, my eyes are so big and so intense that I actually tried to, first of all, not make eye contact with people, and secondly, like, tone down my eyes to try to make them kind of like, I don't want to say dull because I don't want to insult reptilians, but reptilians have more of a not intense look. Anyway, that's like a subject for another day. We'll get back to one of her big issues, and the reason she's talking about this, it was the reason that she was taken out, was that she was a scapegoat. And you can look that up if you don't know what scapegoat is. It's basically when you're part of a toxic environment, because you are the sensitive person, people dump all of their things, that their negativity, their toxic behaviors they don't want to own, and they dump them on you. So in her lifetime, her family did that to her. And then that happened to her in high school. And then that happened to her in her bands. And she's not blaming, like, you know, especially like in her band, she's not blaming the others. She let that happen, but she sort of had that blueprint from being born into a family that scapegoated her. And if she was just able to own her talent and to find a group of people that, you know, could match that and not be jealous, and she didn't dull herself with drugs and stuff to fit in, then like that would have worked out much better for her. Anyway, whew. Let's see. So let's talk about Janis's looks. It's so interesting because, so anyway, I've had lifetimes with Janis. I can't tell you all yet who I was. I'm not ready to do that, and Spirit says it's not the right time. But when I ever heard about Janis feeling like unsure about her looks, it's very confusing for me. Because like many of you, when I see her, I think like she's very attractive, but that makes sense given our history. But, you know, I could see at the time in Port Arthur, Texas, the way she looked, why she would feel that she was the ugly duckling, also being the scapegoat. So it's interesting. So her and I were talking, and I was talking to her, and I was saying, like, you know, Janis, so many people found you attractive, and you were successful, and you dressed so cool and all of that. And this is what she said back to me, you guys. She said, there's nothing you can wear to cover abuse. So I found that to be just profound. Whew. I'm getting palpitations because they're here with me, and the energy is just so strong. So let me repeat that. She said, there's nothing you can wear to cover abuse. And what she meant by that, guys, too, is that when people become wealthy and talented, there's also not enough money and everything that you can wear to cover up that initial imprint. And that's what we need to work on. So let's move on from that. As she said, she loved Karen Carpenter. Please listen to her music too. Karen Carpenter was part of her soul group, and I'll get into that at another time. She did say the band, her original band, did try to sabotage her success, as did others. And she's really going back to a time also. There was a time, I believe it was at Woodstock, or yeah, where they wanted to film her, and someone in the band was trying to act like they were, so I'm trying to put it into words. They had so much integrity that they didn't want to be filmed. Well, she's calling it BS, guys. It was like they didn't want people to see Janis. She was just very powerful. Now she's taking responsibility because she let that happen. Many powerful musicians let themselves shine. She, because of her past of being scapegoated, she let herself be scapegoated, and she let herself be diminished. So she's not fully blaming people around her, but she's saying, she's using this to let you know that people, like, everyone needs to find their tribe. Everyone needs to find their equals. Everyone needs to prevent themselves and others from being sabotaged. So let me go on here. Yes, she was an ENFJ. She was really into social justice, and that's why she's a lawyer now. She will come back as a major star. She will come back with her twin flame. She just needed a quiet lifetime where she could, well, do her justice and also marry her twin flame and have children. Let's see, she did love a lot. She loved every man she was with. Not as much as David Niehaus, who was her twin flame. Let's see, she didn't understand superficial feelings, and that's the Pleaidian part of her. Let's see, others would let her lead. And people got embarrassed around her, that they didn't have that same passion that she has, and that's a Pleaidian trait. Dick Cavett was one of her soulmates, and she's so, this is a Pleaidian trait. This is what I experience when I try to connect to my audience. I'm into connection. She was into connection, and she tried to explain to people how she preferred like a live audience. She loved like that feedback loop of connecting to the audience, and they gave her energy and she gave them energy. And she's saying that that's going to be something of the future with Pleiadians performing. And that's going to be something that humanity wants, is that connection. Instead of just being like, like giving, I get like indigestion too. It's when I channel, so please forgive all this like weird physicality. Whew. Sorry, their energy is right here. It's like so much for a body to process. Okay, so we'll get back to that. She says it's time to talk about her passing. So I'm getting hoarse. This is tough, guys. Her passing was written off as a simple H overdose. She was doing H, but what happened was her boyfriend at the time, she had realized, like, they were fighting. She realized he was not the one that she wanted to marry. She did love him, but she was really madly in love with David Niehaus. But she was hurt. her and David had split up. She's saying that he knew and she knew they were going to get back together, but because she was hurt, she was dating this other guy. And he was very jealous of her. He was a user. He knew it wasn't going to last, and she knew it wasn't going to last, but they were sort of engaged, not officially, but he was taking advantage of her, like using her house, dating other women. She knew about it. She confronted him. She broke up with him. They had a big fight. Anyway, he went to her hotel room. He was mad at her because his gravy train was ending. And she's saying they had a fight. A scuffle. Got physical. He injected her with more H. And that's how she passed, guys. So, that was her passing. And it's very sad. It's not what was supposed to happen. And, anyway, it's very, very emotional. I'm just going to take a moment for that. She asked me to read a poem to you all that I had written years ago. This poem was in collaboration with Spirit, and she'd like me to read it because she struggled with how she looked. And so I'm just going to get into it. Feet, hands, face, place you in front of me so I can see your outline. You cannot shine. For me to see you, I cannot see. Blind, I have to be so I can see your soul. So I wrote that years ago, guys. I was just thinking about superficiality, the superficiality of this world, and how that gets in the way. And that poem just came to me. And Janis just wanted me to read that to you all. Hopefully you liked it. She liked that poem a lot. And, you know, it's a tough one, guys, because while we're here, beauty is important. And, you know, like the saying goes, it is only skin deep. But her and Jesus and, you know, Archangel Azrael, which is her, you know, it's tough because they're saying beauty is important. They love beauty. They've created beautiful things. A lot of starseeds come here and are beautiful. Jesus was beautiful. And what starseeds produce is beautiful. So it's not about like, you know, Jesus is saying like there's a movement to make yourself ugly, which is not going to help anyone. And, you know, back to us only being here for a short period. If you're beautiful, let yourself be beautiful. Make yourself even more beautiful. And while we're here, we can wear nice clothes. And Janis wishes she found that balance. Like, she loved being masculine and, you know, wearing jeans and wearing flip-flops, going barefoot, no makeup sometimes, or harsh makeup. And that was an experiment of that time. But they're saying that it's really about being true to ourselves. Sorry, I'm in New York and the sirens. If you want to feel pretty, make yourself pretty. If you want to wear something by a fashion designer, do that. Like making yourself ugly, making yourself poor, not taking care of yourself, that's not going to help anyone. You know, but if you're feeling like you want to dress down or be punk, or that, if that's truly how you're feeling, do that too. If you're feeling like you want to be more masculine, do that. If you're feeling like you want to be feminine, do that. There is, sorry, the sirens are really a lot right now. You know, they're laughing. They're like, if you want to live in the city, live in the city. If you want to live in the country, live in the country. And you can change your mind at any time. Try not to hurt others with your decisions, but they're like, if you want to wear, I think it's called like haute couture, you know, which a lot of starseeds are fashion designers and stuff like that. If you want to become a famous musician, let yourself do that. You know, you can give to charity. It is not each person's role to save the world. Like, starseeds are here to save the planet, but not like all at once. And it doesn't mean like you have to not wear makeup or be, you know, all earthy crunchy and live on a mountaintop. Although you can do that too. But they really want you to just really follow your own path. Like, you know, Mother Teresa was a starseed, and she chose to, you know, be a sister, and she chose to be chaste, and she chose to help take care of people in India, but that was her path. But, you know, not all starseeds are on that journey. So, Archangel Azrael and Jesus, Joan of Arc, Sometimes I call Janis, Joan of Arc, because they're the same spirit, same soul. They're just saying, like, just always try to stay in touch with yourself. And if you were a tomboy growing up, but suddenly, you know, you'd like a Tiffany's engagement ring, you guys just honor yourselves. They keep saying we're here for such a short period. Listen to the music you like. Eat the food that you like within reason. Jesus is always preaching in moderation. And also take in mind your own, many starseeds have food allergies and sensitivities, and, you know, keep in mind your own sensitivities. But within that, one of their goals is to have people be really true to themselves and reach their highest purpose. I'm just going to go through my notes again just to see if I missed anything. She's saying she was a perfectionist when she was here, which a lot of people didn't know. It took her, sometimes it was hard for her to, like, accept her songs because she wanted to keep, like, tweaking them. And what, you know, people would look at Janis and be like, I don't know what it is about her that's, like, so attractive. And this is what the people in high school tried to diminish. And some toxic people around her, was that it is that starseed light that not everybody has, that shines through no matter how plain you look. As a starseed, when you turn your light on, you are a beacon. You're very attractive, and it's very scary because there is a dark force in the world. There is a spiritual warfare. And when you shine your light, it will attract darkness. There's all kinds of different ways to explain it, but it's all the same. So you could explain that as, like, at its darkest, it's the relationship between the narcissist and the empath. But there's all different kinds of levels. And, you know, like I said in the beginning of this video, if reptilians would just accept themselves within reason, not letting themselves be destructive, but just accepting who they are, and starseeds would accept who they are, we could all work in harmony. That was the original purpose. Let's see. Yeah, she's talking about how, because she was a starseed, that she felt things very deeply, and people who aren't starseeds will call that dramatic. And she said that that was not cool. She didn't like that because she was actually very intelligent and very logical. She's a Capricorn. And she, a few times, quit music, and, you know, she almost just when she went back to school for a few different things, but she, like, almost just to prove people wrong, she almost quit music and, you know, she almost like was going to become a therapist, or she said even worse for her, like just a business person, just to prove she was logical and intelligent, because she wanted people to treat her with respect, which they would have. And many people did. Unfortunately, it was like, well, David Niehaus did, her twin flame. You know, he's very intelligent. And he's with a soulmate now. So, yeah, she said a lot of people worry that, you know, if they're not with their twin flame, like that they're with the wrong person, but we have soulmates. You know, it's okay to be with a soulmate. The problem is when you're with, like a toxic person who's trying to sabotage you. And that is not your soulmate or is not your twin flame. Yeah, and there are sometimes karmic people who come into your life who you have things to work out with. That's a whole different rabbit hole. But don't worry, like, I'll get into that another time. She'd really like you to listen to her song, Mercedes-Benz. That was the song that she wrote herself. And let me go through my other notes here, see if I missed anything. Yeah, one other note here. She loved Otis Redding. He was a inspiration for her. And she's saying, guys, like, whenever you feel like quitting or being something that you're not, she wants you to think about all of the people who have inspired you. You know, Jesus, Janis, Amelia Earhart, just the people she was, and all the people, I'm finding out, guys, the people that I've channeled so far are part of my spiritual team, and I've had lifetimes with them. And they want to let you know that when and if people do not are not their true selves, that, you know, the world is missing out. The world is missing out on our Janis Joplins. And when we let dark forces take out our Janis Joplins and our Kurt Cobains, Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Whitney Houston, Marilyn Monroe, you know, if we're not true to ourselves, we won't have these figures, we won't have this talent that we love. And as a society, in this like spiritual warfare that we're going through, if we don't help, like, lots and lots and lots of, starseeds are being taken out before their time. It's very tragic. Spirit doesn't want that to happen. But on a positive note, like, many starseeds have woken up, and we do have so many people on the spiritual path, and we also have like a lot of reptilians that, you know, want to be on the spiritual path too. So we have that going, and I'm going to make a video about all the different galactic influences, and like I said, starting with reptilians and the importance of them not trying to, you know, imitate starseeds, because what has happened too is many reptilians have the power and the money, and this happened to Janis, and this happens a lot. Sometimes they try to imitate starseeds and even like steal their ideas, or even the fact of them imitating, like, think of like the music scene we have now in Hollywood and all of that stuff, like politics. When you have people in these groups who don't belong there, not only are they like blocking the people that should be there, but it's watering down all of it. That's why we have like 1 million stations. Many people don't know what to watch. That's why we have like the same stories being regurgitated over and over. People imitating songs. A little imitation is fine. And, you know, Biggie and Tupac are saying, like, you know, mixing in like rap with other artists, like, that's cool. I think you guys understand what I mean, though. It's when it's like not cool. So that's why, well, one of the reasons why they're coming through, and one of the big reasons why it's really important to be random knocking. It's really important to honor yourself and be yourself. Now they're talking about time. This video is getting long. They just wanted to mention that, you know, again, we're here for a short period. Time does matter here on Earth. On the other side, it's a little more loosey-goosey, which is why the hardest thing, guys, with being a medium is them trying to tell me like a timeline of when something is going to happen. Okay, so, sorry, messages are coming in. All right, I think that's going to be it. Janis is saying, well, she's going to be with me pretty much forever now. She's like become one of my spirit guides. And, but yeah, I may do another video, cause she has a lot more to say, but this video is already really long. I knew it would be. But Janis is saying to wrap it up, and she's saying she loves you guys and she would really like you to listen to her music. She's saying a lot of people in Gen Z, but all the generations could really benefit from her music. I feel like as I'm putting it into words, but she's saying surprisingly resonate with a lot of the music, even though it's such a younger generation. But you want to think about this. They came from the other side, so they're actually oftentimes people younger than us are older than us, if that makes sense. So if you'd like to honor her, listen to her music, watch the documentaries, use your analysis. If you have any questions for me, for Janis, leave them in the comments. And she's saying a good idea might be to do a live, and then I can answer your questions. And let me know if you have any experiences with her. If you find yourself resonating with her music and with her, please pray to her Archangel Azrael for the things that I talked about earlier. Especially if you're trying to find your true talent. And if you feel any connection with her after this, let me know. And I can talk to her for you too. And let me know, like, if you have felt that her passing was shady. And any sort of psychic insights that you all have. All right. And I'm sorry, I barely looked at the camera. I just couldn't. My concentration was on the messages and them. So if you want to know also why many people with ADHD and Asperger's don't make eye contact, it's just a different energy. We're getting energy from all different places. And it's hard to concentrate fixated like on other people, if that makes sense. Anyway, guys, that is it for now. I'm not really going to say goodbye, but we'll officially say goodbye to Janis right now. She's so cute. She's wearing like a big white like cowl neck knitted sweater. She's lightly tanned, no makeup. Her hair has highlights. She's wearing like faded Levi's with a hole in the knee. She has tanned feet. She's on a beach and she's holding hands with David Niehaus. They're just like walking away. All right, and of course, we'll say bye to Jesus. Thank you. He's just making all kinds of jokes. He's like, don't worry about little old me. All right, I love you guys. I love you guys. I will talk to you very soon. All right, bye.